So I just want to give you a quick overview of my camp here. I'm going to have more specific videos on each of these components later, but this is how it all kind of comes together. And let me start by just walking over to the left side here. Yeah. Okay, well, I have my water supply here and food and kitchen supplies here in the 5-gallon buckets there with a screw top closure. I love that for hanging everything I need up during the night in a bear hang. And I've got kind of like a little kitchen set up here. I love these foldable tables, nice and light. And then the Reliance water containers, those are a popular standby for a lot of people. And you know, leather gloves, and I love that StanSport mug and the propane stove there. I generally use the campfire a lot, you know, for late night cooking, but in the morning I'll fire up the propane just to get a quick cup of coffee or you know, start a quick breakfast. But got some ground tarps and other tarps drying out there. Happen to get wet in the rain. Let me go over here, I guess, to the campfire setup, since I mentioned that just a second ago. And this is just a basic lightweight StanSport tripod system. It's got that classic cowboy setup with a hanging grill right there. And again, I can go into more specific detail on how I utilize that with all the different cookware that I have, but pretty much that will do, that setup does like everything that I need to do, minus the propane stove, which I mentioned just a second ago, you know, for the quick meals and quick hot drinks. But this will, as far as the cooking setup for the campfire, this does pretty much everything, and I love that. And this particular unit is really lightweight. But yeah, more on that later with a more specific video, like I mentioned. Of course, I got all the wood. This is a ton of wood, and a lot of this was left over. I do have, you know, the resources to process stuff like this, but that is a part of the camp. You need wood all the time. Let me quickly go back over to the right here. So the two tents that I primarily use are, first, this Lanshan 2 here, and this is a lightweight backpacking tent that is supported by hiking poles, and it's super lightweight, does pretty good in most storms, surprisingly good in the wind. It's a 2-person tent. It's got plenty of space for me and all my backpacking gear. So this setup right here is kind of like the most essential setup of gear that I have. This is kind of like my own backpacking system. And when I come into camp and it's late in the day, and before I'm going to go set up the wall tent, of which I'll mention later here, I typically like put up this backpacking tent, crash in here, and then over the next day or so, I'll put up the wall tent and all the big base camp features. But and it's also, I've noticed, really important to have at least 2 tents in your repertoire, you know, so that if something goes wrong, you can jump into either one, right? So more on that tent later. It's really the backpacking tent that I've been looking for a long time. I've been backpacking all my life, and I absolutely love that thing. That being said, going back over the wall to the wall tent here, this is the Big Kahuna, and you can see how big it is. It's a 10 by 12, and I'll try to get a side shot here. But it's a canvas wall tent, and super strong. It's got a steel frame inside, and more about this later too. I can do a whole separate video on this thing. And it's really strong in the wind, in storms, absolutely bomb-proof. I mean, look at all these huge stays I have staked out here, and all these things, and guy lines and everything. And a lot of times I'll have a rain fly on it. It's not on right now because I'm drying it out. But it's a fantastic tent, and really, as far as something that's going to hold up all the time, you know, with every storm over the long period, then the wall tent has really been the go-to answer for me. It does have typically I have a stove pipe coming out on the other side, and I have a wood burning stove in there, but I don't have it up right now. It's not cold enough just yet in the early fall here, but soon I'll be probably putting that in when I come out in later trips. Let's see here. Oh, and then in the back here, this right now is being utilized as a shower tent. Again, a separate review later, right? This is a fantastic item here, and it's just really well set up. It's really spacious, and in the inside, I can hook up a little shower head pump that attaches to the top. It's just really well set up to where I can go in there and then take a shower and have that being pumped out of one of the water containers that I showed earlier, and just take a quick shower. I mean, you can also utilize this for a pseudo outhouse setup, but it's not being used like that right now. But that's really great to have and really inexpensive, and just a great addition right back there. So I'll be doing a separate video over that later. Let's pull back over here to the camp. You can see that it has the mesh windows and such. And yeah, I sometimes work outside here. I love this Walmart chair, actually. It's some of the best comfy chairs I've ever had, really. And yeah, it's straight up from Walmart. Yeah, that Ozark Trail brand. It's fantastic. Yeah, but there's my PC, and right now I've got it running pretty much during the day. I run everything off of the Jackery 500 there, and it's just really convenient, super portable. I can move it around camp. I can take a look, at all the power that's coming in from solar and the power that's going out, and just helps me really understand what my current power needs are. So this is what I primarily use during the day. Right now it's running also off of this 100-watt solar here that I'll show you in a second. But I have a larger battery, 12-volt battery system with lithium iron phosphate batteries back in the truck, and then I can go into more detail. But I'll typically charge this Jackery 500 during the night also with that bigger battery bank system in my truck, and then supplement with solar during the day. So that's what I've got going on right now, and it's working pretty well. Even during storms, I can have the larger battery power that's in the truck, and is a longer term storage between storms, and then I can power this up, like I said, during the night, and then when the sun is shining, I'm kind of breaking even with a lot of my power needs with just that 100-watt solar. So that's been working so far. More on that later as well. And this is the perfect companion to that Jackery 500. I love it. This is a Renogy 100-watt folding panel system. As you can see, it's super simple. It folds over. It's got its own stand and just plugs right into the Jackery with a little adapter. Love that thing. Very convenient. And then off to the side here, the camp would not be complete, at least in a modern sense, without Starlink. This is the dish here that I typically put on this bin to be able to move it appropriately and get a good signal connection with a satellite. And this provides internet for me really wherever I am, literally in the backcountry. It's a fantastic system, really works, and can't say enough good things about that. And I've got more specific videos on how I utilize that, especially with regard to backcountry camping, and I've got that posted as well. So I don't think that I'm missing anything else. That's the brief overview of the camp here, and yeah, more to come on each of the specific details of this stuff.